All right. Taylor, do you want me to pull stuff up for you as you talk about what you were up to with Canada?
So this is Canna. We did this yesterday. I've been working indoors because of the fire. That's close, but it's getting contained now, so now we're a little less worried about it. But really, I'm just trying to I feel like Canna is still confused on how to sit to alert, and she's waiting for me to cue her to sit to alert. And I'm like, girly pop, just sit, man, so I can give you the reward. So I'm not quite sure how to bridge that gap because like she'll do it if I cue her fast, but if I don't, we kind of get into this awkward silence where I'm waiting on her. So I don't, and she does this if it's a lineup, she does this if it's I think I put real search, but like out in wherever we're searching, I'm not sure how to speed her up or if I just need to just let her be slow.
Okay, cool. And I will also, so fair warning here, Sanyu and I are on Starlink right now. We're sharing bandwidth, and Starlink has been in and out a bunch today. So if mine drops right away, somebody raise your hands to be the person who helps helps us share video. By next month, I'm going to be back onto normal internet and hopefully functional from there. Okay, everybody can see this so far, though?
Yes. And it's Birch. It was out for like 10-ish minutes, I think. And it's on my brother's boat.
Oh, neat. Excuse me. Okay, let's get after it. Oh my God, her detailing is lovely.
I'm a little choppy too, but I thought it was because of my internet.
It very well could
Yeah, it
be
might be a
me.
little choppy. Yeah.
Okay, I've paused. Um, yeah, is it unwatchably choppy?
I'm just seeing
Yeah.
random screenshots. I'm not seeing any motion at all.
Okay.
It looked like
Is
screenshots, but every screenshot looked beautiful.
okay. Is anybody else on more stable internet to do the share?
I will be in a few minutes, but not
Okay.
right now, but in a few minutes I could for the meeting.
Okay.
I can try
Um,
it. No guarantees here.
um, yeah, let's give it a
Oh,
go.
oh,
Yeah, let's give it a go.
Okay, you ready? Searching.
I don't know if it's moving for anybody else. I've got the opening screenshot and that's it.
Yeah, that's not working.
Opening screenshot and that's it.
Yeah, that's not working. Okay, well, I think I saw enough of it to at least talk through some stuff for you, Taylor. Um, Actually, here, I'm gonna show, even though you guys are getting some random screenshots, we'll get the last, 10, 15 seconds watched here. Just for something. So far what we've seen is Canna has walked kind of three-quarters of the way around this boat. She's doing a lovely job of kind of keeping her nose canted in towards the boat, and she did some really lovely detailing around the motor. Now she's been doing quite a bit of detailing over in this area, kind of up front near the snowmobile trailer. And she has now looked back at Taylor, but doesn't quite seem certain of what she needs to do. Little nose bop towards that green thing, a nose bop and hold. She's kind of looking away. There's a nice sit. Yeah, but yeah. Yeah, I see what you mean, Taylor. Definitely took kind of a long time for her to figure it out. Um,
Yeah. So, and I don't know. He does this whether we work on it every day, whether I give her a break, what like I cannot get her to go faster, and she's not a slow dog. We do agility. She does things fast. She is capable of doing things fast.
yeah. Do you have you confirmed that she can do snappy, repetitive sits in fitness?
Yes.
Okay. So we're not worried about pain because that should be like the first thing if we're getting like
Correct.
really slow, hesitant, weird movement, like confirmed that that's absent as much as one can. Um, and if if we need to go digging further, that should be something in the back of your mind.
Right.
Um, so then the next step up is, I think, really, really dramatically simplifying the search and making it much, much smaller and much faster so you can do really quick and easy repetitions. So that might be something like a lineup that might be frustrating and boring for her as well, though. That tends to be for a lot of our herding dogs. So even doing small searches in a room. But I would really like to see that we're getting to a point where you can do very, very quick, clean loops. Maybe with, actually, yeah, why don't we just eliminate the search entirely? So I want you to have target odor like magnetized to something that is at the height that is very comfortable for her body and her neck in particular when she sits, because she does seem to have a nice nose hold. And I want to see that she can like go in, sit, boom, click reward, and then you send her back to it. And I want it to almost look like you're working on like two on two off agility training or something like that. Like really actually clicker train it and get very snappy, clean loops. Um, in something very like simplified, almost obedience focused, and like eliminating the fact of seeking and sourcing. Um, and I would like to see how that looks, and maybe check in with us on Patreon in like a week with that and let us know how that's going. Like send some video and we can kind of see what the next step is. But I think before we go any further, let's like try to get something really, really clean and simple, and get like, yeah, 10 reps in a row or something like that.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Thank you. Because I was like, I don't know what else to do. We've tried this hot, we've tried this cold, we've tried this every which
Yeah. And
way.
you might even for the first session do it without target odor. Just do it with a tin with food in it or something like that. But like really strip everything away and let's get to the point where we can get like a minute of clean training that you can show us before we add anything else back in. And really, yeah, just like let's clicker train it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, you're a good
Thank
clicker trainer, so we know you can do that.
hand clicker train.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, you, I got a bolt, but thanks.
yeah, yeah. Good luck. And one other thing I'll say, you can watch this in the recording, but something else to think about. Look at substrate. Um, See again in these like tiny repetitive sessions. I'd love to see that on mats or carpet or grass. Something really, really comfy and easy and grippy for her to sit on. Um,
Okay,
okay, there you go.
cool.
Go enjoy the barrel race.
Thanks. Bye.
Okay. Anybody have any other thoughts for her that we can point her to in the recording later on? I was trying to be pretty quick and straightforward since I know she had to run.
I mean, the only other thing and this is just feed, like not an idea, but like it was great that she didn't leave the source, like she stayed there and she was just waiting. So, I mean, that's great. Um, but yeah, I love your suggestions for the sit, but I was like, oh, look at her not leaving it though when she didn't sit. So that's great.
No, she really does look, she's a much more thoughtful and methodical searcher than Kepler. They're very different dogs, which is really fun to watch. Sonia, what do you, yeah, you've had a lot of alert rebuilding to do. What do you think?
I thought I loved your suggestions also. Um, just like simplifying it and yeah, just getting it like really clean and super basic. So yeah.
Cool. Okay. And if you're ready, I'm gonna have you be the video DJ, then we'll give that a go. Do you want to pull up Jane's video? And Jane, do you have anything you want to say as she's getting it pulled up?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. I mean, do you want me to read what's on Patreon?
Yeah, that would be helpful.
What I wrote there? Okay. Shoot, except I don't have it. Oh, yes, I do. Okay. So looking back on it, I probably overfaced her. So at the very beginning, I show a really brief clip of her, the first hit. So this is actual nest searching or nest odor searching. And I just got her on an outdoor search for the first time with it 3 days before this, and she was fantastic. So I show what that looked like, and then I jumped to the whole open field. So, I lumped a little bit. Ha. Um, so there are lots of different distractions. She loves to hunt in this field. She's got a lot of history of free hunting here. But we've recently had grasshoppers arrive, and she loves to attack and eat grasshoppers. So what happened was the second one, she finds the first one, not right off. So the whole search was 13 minutes, but I fast forwarded through part and cut parts out. So the what you'll see is only three. But she found the first one, and the second one, she definitely was working it and bounced right over it. And it was in a mason jar, and she knocked the mason jar over, and she went right back to it and stuffed her nose down in. And I was waiting for an alert, and she got sucked into critter odor. And so at that point, I was a little bit, what do I do? I wasn't 100% sure it was Critter. I should have been because of her body language. But the fact that she was right on target when she found the Critter odor just had me boggled. And you can't see it well because of the distance on that one. And so I just sort of froze and was there and watching her work in critters for a while, and I wasn't quite sure what to do next. So my questions are, I think I'd put her on a line next time in this big field. I didn't have to redirect her very much at all, but she ranged pretty darn wide. And I think, I mean, we've had this conversation before. Um, and it would also prevent her from chasing things that go flying by. Um, I'm assuming that I should have bailed sooner on the crittering. And so that's my second question. Third is, I did allow her to re-find the first one so that we could end on a good note, because I ended up pulling her away from the crittering. And do you think that, yes, I did overface her? So those are my questions.
Okay.
So that's how fast she found it the first time out. So I said,
Wow.
all right, she's got it. And I went and gave her a whole field to search in. So those are the two hides hidden there. So this is fast forward just so that you can see, I mean, this was a long period of time, but you can see how wide she goes. And right there, she goes right over the first one and keeps on going. And I was kind of trying to do a transect straight across the field. And again, you can sort of see her
Where's the wind right now?
at my back as I go
Okay.
away. So,
Okay. Now you're
so
walking into it.
yeah, now I'm walking into it, and she finds it. I hope you can see her.
Hmm.
I know where she is. So she was pretty far away from me and she did find it and she did alert. By far away from me, I simply mean, she wasn't right at my feet. So that was the first one that we did on the way back. And then I think I came all the way here further and then we went away. And this is, again, you can't see it, but she was just, as I say, had her nose right on it. And I was waiting for her to freeze, which is her alert. And she just got sucked into a smell and started hunting around in the grass. So I wasn't 100% sure what I should have done in that situation. And then on the way back, I let her find the first one again. And I believe you have said in the past that that's okay. But I kind of feel like because of what we're searching for and where it is, I have to be really careful about that. Because it's not like I'm going on a trail in the woods and we can walk away from previous finds. We're going to be going
Yeah.
back and forth through the field, and it's going to be really easy for her to pick up on the same one again.
Yeah. Yeah, we can start there. Yeah, and I think especially with something like a bird nest, like reducing disturbance is going to be helpful as well, a good goal. What I
Right.
did with Niffler on the wind farm, which is similar, I didn't reward Barley for refines on the wind farm, basically, period. With Niffler, if he made kind of an honest refind, like I could actually see that he worked odor, um, I would kind of reward him with his next, like a tier down. So like kibble. Um, and then like I've taught my dogs that like you found that one already, let's keep going. Um,
Right.
which is a whole sentence, so it's a horrible cue, but
And
fine.
I actually did do that in the previous time because she found that one. We went to the end.
Looks like we just lost her. Give her a second. Well, while we're waiting for her to come back, does anyone else have other thoughts on kind of the refined question? And then we'll get into her other questions once she's back, hopefully. Oh, there she totally went. Okay. Oh, Sonia, you're
Oh,
muted.
Sonia, you're muted.
I was going to say, on refines, unless I send my dog back in because I want like a cleaner indication, I usually like show like joy and enthusiasm. Like, that's right, good job. Like, find more, right?
Yeah.
And then try to direct them out to find more. But I don't know what kind of nest she's searching for, and yeah, don't really know in terms of like doing like conservation type survey. Yeah, how how that would come into play.
Yeah.
Having your dog go back in, again. Is
Yeah.
it
I
because
think
you just
generally
don't
you
want
would
your
want to
dog?
limit
Oh,
that.
sorry. Is it because you just don't want your dog like trying to hit the same thing over and over and over?
Yeah, that's certainly it with other targets. And then and Sonia, you can jump in on this because she's a bird biologist, but especially with, disturbing a nest and other predators will also track dogs
Okay.
into nests. So trying to limit that as much as possible. Sonia, I don't know if you've got more to say there. It looks like you just unmuted.
Yeah, I would I would imagine that when she's doing like, actual operational looking for active nests, you'd ideally have your dog on a lead and you'd be keeping track of the area that you've searched. And I don't know the biology of bobolinks, but many bird species, like the nesting density is reasonably well known. So if you know, like, okay, you found a nest there, it is highly unlikely that a second nest is going to be within like even 10 meters of that nest that you already found. So if your dog, for me, if I was handling my dog and my dog is kind of wanting to go back there, I would just gently call them off and keep moving away because I know we've cleared that area. There's no reason to go back there. Bobolings could be different. It could be that the density is much greater, but again, like, uh, and this is a skill you'll have to develop, most people, certainly for myself, but like to know we've been there, so we're not going back in that area. But at this stage, like for such a young dog, so soon on its target odor, I would definitely have rewarded that refind for sure. In terms of confidence for the dog.
Yeah. Great to have you back, Jane. Well, you didn't miss a ton that you can double check in the recording, but yeah, we were talking a little bit about the refines and, a little bit of the nuance of that. I think a lot of this, so like, yeah, your first search looked so clean and she was so fast and she was so confident. I think you might have changed just a couple too many things in that next one. And that actually kind of relates to this refines discussion. So one of the things we're talking about with these refines is, you don't, like, I know with Niffler, for example, he actually will repeatedly refine things based on like memory alone. Like I have
Yeah.
seen him just sprint back to where something is when he's upwind of it. Like there's no way he smells it and just goes back and finds it and like hopes to get paid. So I pay him with lower value stuff. And then between searching on a lead and your search strategy, you can minimize that. But yeah, as Sonia was saying, that this stage in training, there's probably no harm in getting extra. And I think especially given the training session you had, being able to be like, okay, we're ending now, but you get paid for this, but we're ending now was probably the right call in that particular situation.
Okay.
With refines, what we did on the wind farm, and okay, I've probably drawn this same graphic like 10 times. Um, they're calling it a whiteboard experience now. But I'll show you a little bit of what we do on the wind farms. Hopefully this loads. While this is loading, thinking through again. So I think if you were to go back here, what you would want to, and when you go back and train in that area again, you might want to consider having her on lead, just so that you can reduce the critting, like which is what you already talked about. And also kind of control her distance so that when you said the wind is at your back, on your first transect, she was to your left quite a ways. And then on their second transect, she was actually searching on your right. So she actually basically searched the same area in both and wasn't really like quartering back and forth in front of you. And you can kind of work on teaching that using the line. But now that I've got my whiteboard, so let's say you've got your wind going this way, right? And you've got a target here, you've got a target here, and say we've got a target here. So now we've got our odor, hypothetically doing stuff like this in a perfect world. So what a lot of times you'll see recommended by people who have done search and rescue is that they run their dog down. Oops, that's a terrible line, but they run their dog at the downwind end first and then quarter upwind.
Okay.
And that's because they're searching for like one person. You want to find them as soon as possible, right? So if you see that in books, it's not wrong. But it is, and I think often like landmines will work that way because you wouldn't want to accidentally kind of walk onto a landmine because you're coming at it from up above. So just like always keep in mind that depending on who you're learning from, there might be reasons that they do it differently from what I'm saying.
Okay.
But for us on the wind farms, what we did to reduce the refines is we searched this way so that then you can find this, you can keep going, you can find this one, you can keep going, and then you may or may not hit this one on this path, and then you can find it on this one. And then
And
when you're here and your dog starts heading up, you
yeah,
can make a call about whether or not you like a lot of times I will still kind of go up a little ways because sometimes there's a second one right here, you know?
okay. Yeah.
Like that does happen. But by doing it this way, you're kind of reducing your likelihood of getting confused about whether or not you need to backtrack. Um, yeah, versus if you start at the bottom, I'll do that with a different color now. If you're starting down here and then your dog's going up and finding this one and then coming back down and then oh my god they come up and find this one, that you end up with much more repetitive potential
Okay.
passes through. It just starts getting, and you're doing a lot more walking, quite honestly.
Okay.
Yeah, and find it there and there. So yeah, when you're working in like more target dense environments and you want to reduce those refines, starting on the upwind side can help. So in your case with the search that you had, that what you actually end up doing, what you did with your search strategy was going through like this,
Yep.
and then she was quartering out here, and she missed this.
Yeah.
Um, but I think there's a possibility that had you had her on a line and had you been working the wind, you would have been able to promote a little bit more kind of correct behavior at that first one.
Yeah.
And if you're closer, it makes it a little easier to start. You've got a pretty good eye already for her of seeing like what she looks like when she's in odor and what she looks like when she's crittering. It's a lot easier when you're closer to
Right.
really keep working that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then you can interrupt. Like with Tuma, I've had to end searches um, because he's flushed a bird and has kind of gone into the wrong headspace for what we're trying to do. And then I can do a little bit of negative punishment, quite honestly, of being like, okay, bud, I'm sorry, but like,
Yeah.
we're obviously not doing what we need to be doing right now. We're not in learning headspace. So you can think of it that way. You can also think of it as like, and now you're going in the truck. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, like we are removing other options for you right now. You don't get to make the wrong choice. We're not going to practice the wrong choice, and you don't get to like be out in the woods right now at all.
Yeah.
And that's just, yeah, it's a lot easier. Does that answer all of your questions, or did you have?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Let me just double check. No, I won't because I had to shut everything down in order to get on again. So
Oh,
I
I've
have
got the
your,
tab up.
but yeah,
So I can-
basically I just sort of overfaced her and I should have known better. I was just too darn excited after how good she did the first time out.
As
It
Kayla
happens.
says to me all the time, I don't think you broke her.
Yeah.
Just one session.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
one session.
Just one session.
Yeah,
It's
and go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say it's a nice situation that you can use the long line in the fields you're going to be searching anyway. Like it seems like that would be a great tool because it's not like such a big deal to use a long line in an open field, like
Yeah.
either way.
Well, as long as the grass isn't too tall, she's just so darn little that, she makes a circle and she's wrapped around a clump of
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right.
haul her out. And this might be another question. So that field right there is, as I say, one she loves to hunt in and she has access to a bunch. And so I think I'm going to intentionally keep her out of the other fields and say those aren't Because there were definitely bobolinks in this field right here. I saw the darn things and I couldn't find a single nest. So I think I'm going to keep her out of the other fields as play spaces and go, okay, this is work only. We're not going to play and hunt in these fields. Does that make sense? This is the searching area. This is the play field. This is the search field. Or should she be able to? Yeah.
No, I'd keep those separate for now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, as separate as you can make them. I mean, again, that's actually something we're talking about with Tuma right now is like maybe ideally we'd actually make his next project if he sticks around on the team. I'd like to see if we can figure out how to make his next project a wind farm project where there's a
Yeah.
much lower incidence of prey and we can really practice that skill in a different situation and high find environment and like all that before reintroducing him to this, where he's got
Yeah.
all of this like reinforcement history for deer.
Well, she 2 days ago flushed a turkey on a leash 2 feet from me that I did not know was there. And
Yeah,
not only did turkey come up and scare the ever living daylights out of me, but she had a bunch of chicks with her. And so I don't need that kind of reinforcement, world.
no, it's yeah.
Oh,
My I think it was my last search with Yutuma before he went on to his next project. We flushed a grouse that then got
oh,
up onto the um the log closest to us, so like 10, 15 feet away from us, and started drumming back and forth at us. And it was just like,
oh.
This couldn't be worse. Okay. Like, yeah, I mean, I had salmon skin that he wouldn't eat. And I was like, okay, we're just
Oh,
gonna
I'm sure.
carry him back to the car. And had to
Yeah.
do some like sit on the tailgate and do some like deep breathing, eat some chocolate.
Oh, yeah. Lots and lots of chocolate.
Jane, I
Yes.
really liked your video. It
Thank
was
you.
it was really nice, like where you would like sped it up and you put in the text and yeah, it was nice quality. And Kayla, love that diagram. I think I had
Yes.
kind of forgotten that, but like when I'm doing a practice and there's multiple hides, and then you can see the dog, the overlapping odors, and the dog getting confused and running past something to get to something stronger. You just kind of reminded me, like, oh, work it backwards. So, yeah,
Yeah.
thank you for that.
Oh my gosh, yeah, of course. Yeah. No, and I really loved the framing that you had, Jane, of like being able to see you all like actually working that area. Like
Absolutely.
that's a lovely spot to be able to film from.
Well, yes, I had to take the screen out of the window because that's from my bedroom window. And I had to take the screen out, but I thought you can see the whole field and you can see how she's moving. You can't see what happened at the end when she started crittering, but I
Yeah.
did want to see. So yeah, I'm just thrilled that I mean, because originally when I asked her to search, she'd be like, I don't see anything. And so I'm just really pleased with how she is going out, and I got to run sometimes just to keep up with her. And so
It's
No, her
awesome.
task focus is looking miles and miles better.
yeah.
She's come a super long way.
And I also, because I think you had said, I did impregnate some get sent tubes. I was very brave. It was very scary. So I now have 2 get sent tubes and
Oh, good.
put them in the snorkels the first time. And she was like, yep, this one. So, I mean, it, it's incredible, the stuff that they have. So I'm excited to use those too.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. All right. It looks like Anne is our last one, unless Sonia's got any secret videos she wants to share. Um, Anne, do you want to start with Zuzu or Vera?
Let's do Suzu. It's related, I suppose. So well, I'm getting this shared here. Um, I did a workshop with um someone local here, and it was like inside, kind of a big room, and Zoo was doing her like, really moving fast and then kind of um if it was a tough odor problem, kind of moving on for a little bit and then running and going back to it and things. And she had an idea. She set up like a little maze with X pens, almost like a rat
Mm.
maze or a mouse maze or something like that. And her idea was instead of me using a long line to rein her in, to use the maze to slow her down. So she was making the choice to slow down and like work it out because she had to figure out like how to move through the maze to get to odor. So I need to go get a bunch of like plastic X pens that I can set up. Um, but this is, oh, I was going to show the how I set it up. So I just used what I had on hand. Let me try to share differently. To set up something similar. I did a big jump like we're talking about making too much of a jump at once because that was inside and then I did from that to like outside in a big open area. So this is the main, you can see that, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So this is how I like kind of the maze I set up, so to speak. And the bottom left square has a hide in the grass, and the top left square has one. And then she's going to be off leash and she could choose to go anywhere. I think if I do this again outside, I'll do like a small fenced area so she doesn't have so many choices, but I thought this worked pretty well. And then also on one of these chairs was this huge mouse nest.
Ooh.
Um, and I put it in the search area anyway, just for kicks. This was on our deck and she was showing so much interest in this like stack of chairs. And then when I went to set this up, I was like, "Oh, this is why you were showed all this interest." And I guess spoiler, she totally ignored this during the search, so I was super happy
Oh, good
about that.
girl.
Yay.
So that nest is like on this chair here, and then the hides are here and here.
Good job. And you little lady, my clip clip, wasn't I? Good girl. Good girl.
I'm tossing treats now for the first time instead of doing the feedback, so I have some treats left for the second one.
I think she likes that though. That like ability to like go and chase and sniff and grab. Like that looks nice for her.
I do it to start, and it's the first time I did it during a search, and it was like, oh, I'm so silly. I never thought to do this during a search.
She is, even though she's out of your little maze right now, she's staying closer. Oh, there she goes. But
Hmm.
um, like than we've seen in that that river, that ravine of
Oh, right.
Yeah,
foam.
in that area, I haven't been back since. Took a little mental health break from that spot.
Yeah, I think that's. I think you're gonna be pleasantly surprised when you go back if you give it enough time.
So she was in it there, and then she's kind of like not fully giving up, I thought.
Oh,
But
she's searching beautifully.
How much is that head up behavior indicative for her?
What's that, Kayla?
How like indicative of her like head being up is
Mm-hmm.
her being like kind of too high or not in the not focused.
Yeah, I agree. I also kind of didn't know where to stand. I was trying not to just like point to the hide with my body,
Right.
and then I kind of was like stuck in the maze myself.
Gosh, her response to your markers is just so clean and so clear.
Yay.
Very nice.
Nice.
I think that's pretty much it. And then I think I just show the, oh, she gets to run around, and then I just show you the,
Hold on. Mouse nest. But she did ignore.
and then that's her reward there
Yeah.
too.
Oh, that's beautiful. Honestly, this looked like a relatively good level of challenge for you guys. Like,
Okay.
I think if it got much harder, yeah, you'd probably want to dial it back. But it looked like a good kind of like challenging but very successful step forward. She didn't disengage, she didn't zoom. There wasn't anything in there that said there was that one spot where she stops and like licks herself a couple times. And I was like,
Hmm.
ooh, is that looked a little stressful. Um, but otherwise, like really her focus and like proximity to you looked really nice.
Oh,
Yeah, I
Um,
think the only thing I was thinking was of backtracking was maybe a fenced area, but she didn't leave too much now that I'm watching it again, like you said.
yeah. Yeah, and it's not like, I mean, you can really see that clear difference when you release her. Like she's really running the perimeter.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, if you get the opportunity to try it in a couple other areas that are maybe a little more contained, I don't think splitting it down is ever going to hurt. But it looks like a good level of challenge. Yeah. And yeah, and then ideas for splits
What
to, oh, sorry, go ahead, Jane.
I was just going to ask, what do you think kept her there? Do you think she knew conceptually this was a training exercise,
I
or do you
think
think
so.
the odor kept her in the area?
Um, I think I think the props kept her in the area. Um, uh, so I guess if the props weren't there, I think what I would expect would be, so it was like kind of a warm day, like high 70s, like 60% humidity, and I'm using essential oils, so it just kind of like pool like comes up and kind of sits there. And
Yeah.
so often like what I would expect if I didn't have all those props there is she might find the first like hit odor and find the first one. And then the challenge of working through the problem to find the second one, she'd be like, or I could just go like run. And so I think the props kept her to like this is our working area, but it wasn't a fence, so she had the that's kind of what I like about it. It's like she had the choice of leaving, but she
Yeah.
chose to stay.
I
And I
wonder if
think
you could
the props
use
kind of
that.
showed her like this is a training thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just wonder if you could use, in a bigger field, slowly build her up to, okay, here are four chairs.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's what I'd love to your ideas on. And that I like that of like maybe corners. Um, I was thinking what I would do to progress this is get some like find some used for sale, like those plastic X-Pen kind of things that I could be portable with, and then set up something similar and take it to different places. But then going from that to like an actual, like I feel like it builds up, like we were saying before, like the muscle memory and the practice of focusing and searching this way. Um, I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but I was thinking I'd love to hear your ideas of like going from this, if it was like portable, to like an actual field search. So I do like that idea of corners, like progressing it to corners.
Yeah, just how to break it down from what you've got now to what, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and even, rather than thinking about making stuff of the same density but larger, increasing the space in between each of the gaps
Hmm.
until they're further apart. I think so then you're kind of working with the same amount of equipment, but you
Yeah.
have this like larger gaps in between everything. I
Hmm.
think would help as well. 'Cause yeah, you really don't want to have to be like creating a whole giant field with this level of density, especially if you can find sites where, like jungle gyms or parks where you have some natural things that you can build off of as well. And then that would actually potentially, hopefully, start building that concept where you've got trees or boulders or jungle gyms or trash cans that would
Yeah.
maybe start continue spreading that concept out into more and more yeah, more and more generalization. That's the word I wanted.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that sounds great because I mean, it was night and day when the first time we set this up. Um, so it is, I think, something I want to play with. But yeah, getting from this to where we want to be, it was, but yeah, all those ideas sound great, like space and then maybe places where there's some things like this naturally. And
Hmm.
I'm thinking it'll just help build her muscle memory of like, this is what we do when we go out.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, teaching her that concept and then gradually, yeah, I think you could play with it in a couple different ways. You could build towards corners, you could build towards having bigger gaps with the same amount of stuff. You could build towards, and I think the way you build towards corners is if you look at the setup that you had, run it, but remove one chair, run it, remove
mm,
another chair, remove another
mhm.
thing. And so, like, every time you run it, and maybe at the same time, move it into different places so that it's
Yeah.
not always the same, but you're just removing like one item at a time to get towards corners might also help.
Yeah.
And I know
Yeah,
I
that's
noticed this with the wind farm where it's actually the opposite of corners, but having the turbine in the center, I do think the dogs kind of pick up on this. Like,
mm,
all right, we're searching around the one thing around. Like, they notice it's
yeah.
there, even if they're not really clearly paying attention to it.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, that makes sense. Just the
yeah,
context.
I can see a couple different ways you could kind of break it down.
Okay. Well, I have a
How old is
project
she?
for the next month then.
How old is she now?
She's 3. I was
3.
about to say the wrong age. She's 3. She's getting old.
Yeah.
Put her up
Not a
faster.
puppy. No, that's great. Yeah, that gives me some ideas. I was having a mental block, so I was thinking, okay, I'll ask everyone today how to
Well,
progress
the
this.
fact that she ignored that nest from a terrier owner is really impressive.
Yeah, I it was on the chair and I was like, I'll put this here and if it's a problem, I could just move the chair and I was very happy. It wasn't
Yeah.
and she paid attention to it all.
No, it's an interesting idea that it was in her environment and she was noticing it. So, Kayla, do you think that was a matter of she had already checked it out, so she knew it was
Hmm.
okay? Or, I'm wondering about that as a plan.
Yeah, you would probably need to kind of split it out. Yeah, and see. 'Cause I'm sure it'll be different from some dogs. Yeah, did she already check it out? Was it because it got moved and like that disturbance could have made it less interesting? I mean, I'm partially thinking about that because it's something we see with our wolf scats. Like as soon as I've moved a wolf scat, Niffler finds it less fear-inducing.
Huh.
Um,
Huh.
or is it because you told her to work around it? Hi,
Yeah.
girly. Um, hard to say without testing it.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, it would be interesting to, especially as a good, yeah, a good thing for you guys to work through, like intentionally having stuff like that in your in your searches where you can control it and you know it's there and you know it's there ahead of time so that you can kind of set up. I know I've talked to, I can't remember who we would have talked about this with, but the idea of intentionally putting your target odor near a distractor so that it's easier for them to make the right choice. Um, is something I've done in the past uh, as well. So, you want to make sure that the target odor has enough value that they can make the right choice. But in some ways, it's a little counterintuitive. Sometimes it seems like having them closer together is actually easier because then they can kind of be like, no, I'm going to do the right thing. Versus if they're really far apart, then they can just get sucked into the distractor and there's no like reminder of
Okay.
what they're supposed to be doing. But again, you would want that to be something that was like controlled and limited because,
Yeah.
if they do kind of make the wrong choice, um, it, then you've got a reinforcement history there.
Yeah. Okay.
All right,
Thanks.
let's hop into Vera and then we'll wrap up here. So it sounds like we're mostly talking about the fact that Vera tracks when we don't want her to. Nope, and you're muted if you're. Oh, and you're still muted.
Well, that makes it harder to hear what I said. Yeah, she tracks and she'll kind of cheat and track you, and then when she kind of so usually I'll like toss her toy from where I'm standing, and then I'll just kind of like walk all through the area. But right now I want to have her hides be in rocky areas because we're going to be training her on a new target odor that lives in like kind of rock slide type areas. So I've been trying to put her toy like in rocks and like kind of in specific places, and then just kind of make little swirly walks to walk out. But I'm finding she's still tracking me. So I was kind of looking for tips or tricks on how to maybe muddy up the area or make it so she's not tracking me while also kind of putting the hide in a really specific place. So this is two toy hides. This first one, I'm pretty sure she's just tracking me and then she finds it. And then the second one, I just stood and tossed it in and it didn't get to the rocky area that I wanted to, but I don't think she tracked me on the second one.
Okay. Oh, where's your ball?
It's okay, babe. Kind of see her straightish line, even though I was walking a zigzag. But
Y'all got it already. Oh my goodness. I was cheating. I saw you cheating.
the second one that I think her pattern was showing me that oh wait, was actually looking and I had just tossed this in as this one.
Where's your ball?
Yeah, she's doing much, much more like thorough, systematic searching.
Hmm.
It's a really clear difference.
Good girl. Yours better.
Yeah, and then like, normally I would just toss it then, but because I want to try to actually get it in a specific place that I think will be hard to toss it in, I was
Yeah.
thought I'd do the group brainstorming on that one.
How much, as you're walking around and placing things, are you like pausing
Oh,
and
I'm so sorry,
disturbing?
Kayla. I'm sorry. My internet froze for a second. Could you start from the beginning? I'm so
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah, of course. How much as you're going around and walking, are you pausing and like disturbing ground and like
Mm,
really like lingering somewhere that is incorrect?
yeah, I haven't been doing that. I was just kind of walking through like randomly, but I wasn't like stopping and touching things or anything.
Yeah, I find that a little helpful. Um, I haven't had a dog who tracks the degree that it looks like she does, but really like trying to, and sometimes they'll even like put the toy down and then pick it up again.
Hmm.
Which, you
Okay.
might, if you really, really don't want residual to be part of your be part of anything, then you might not want to do. But like, I like my dogs to understand that, hey, residual doesn't pay, and like you're gonna encounter residual sometimes, or like, you know, part of the odor picture doesn't quite count. You need to find the whole thing.
Hmm.
I know Robin was actually talking to me about a study that found that like exhalation and CO2 is a really big part of the odor picture for them. So actually like pausing and like I'll
Yeah.
exhale, I'll disturb ground, I'll touch vegetation, I'll pick it up, um, I'll put down other things um, as well, like put down a Sharpie, put down a piece of flagging tape. Um, is probably going to be your best bet. Maybe having multiple, this isn't something to do constantly, but having multiple people go through and having somebody who's not you be the one who places things, at least occasionally.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, maybe get a drone. Uh, everybody talks about
Yeah, and
drones.
that's the funny thing, like
We need like a
because
reverse claw. Go ahead.
yeah, yeah. Good fishing pole. No, I was gonna say like normally because normally it doesn't matter to me where it is like in the landscape. So I normally do just like toss like really toss it and she doesn't track. But because now I want to put it like on rocks to encourage her to go like into rocks and over rocks, I'm like kind of hitting this wall. So yeah.
Yeah.
The catapult is me kind of sort of what I actually usually do, but um yeah.
Yeah, maybe letting it cook for longer too. If it's out there for 24 hours or 48
Yeah,
hours,
and then my scent would be less
at least be a
in
lot harder.
comparison to,
Or
yeah,
wait till it rains. But then, yeah, that's a lot harder to set up. That's annoying in a different way.
yeah. Well, I could give that a go tonight. I could put her toy out there on something and then do a search for it in the morning and see um if that helps.
Yeah, and especially, if you want to train her to pattern to go to rocks, walk to every rock, touch it, put something down on it, go to the next, go to the next, go to the next, and go to like five or six others after you place as well, and just like keep going because hypothetically, then if she's tracking you, she's learning to target them and check them out.
Hmm.
So it's
Yeah, I
still
don't mind
work.
if she targets the rocks for sure
Yeah.
for this one.
What
Okay.
a what a cool location. All those ferns. It was
Yeah.
pretty.
Yeah, it was really pretty.
Yeah, I'm at our family cabin for a couple days, so we're very fortunate
Nice.
to have this spot to go to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, like Matt.
Yeah, it looks
Magical.
Those are big trees for out east. Nice looking forest.
Yeah, it has some pretty old like white pines, I guess. Yeah, a lot of
Oh,
white pines
cool.
here. In this
Mhm.
just in this like little spot of the mountain.
They're one of my favorites. That's really cool. All right.
Are are any of you guys going to the I don't know, is it called a seminar? Is it called a clinic? What's it called? The canine first aid and then
Oh,
the training?
yeah, we're calling it a retreat.